Look.
I look at my neighbor's house.
Squint.
I squint in his windows.
Stare.
I stare at him.
Glare.
He glares back at me.
Drink.
I usually drink tea in the morning.
Swallow.
After I drink tea, I swallow it.
Sip.
I sip the tea because it's so hot. Whew.
Chug.
I chug the tea because I'm so thirsty and I have no time.
Eat. Nibble. Gobble up. Devour.
I want to eat a blueberry muffin. I'm not very hungry, so I think I will just nibble the muffin. But now I'm really hungry. I will gobble the whole muffin up. These muffins are so good. I think I will devour 2 more muffins.
Clean. Tidy up. Wash. Scrub.
We need to clean the house today. First, I tidy up the clothes. I will wash the dirty laundry. My husband Dan scrubs the bathroom floor.
Lay down. Lounge. Recline. Sprawl out.
Oh, I'm so tired. I'm going to lay down for a nap. At the end of the day, I lounge with a book. My husband Dan reclines in the chair. My cat is sprawled out on the chair. He looks so comfortable.
Dry. Parched. Withered.
The plant looks dry. The soil is parched. The whole plant is withered.
Water. Mist. Spray. Drench.
I need to water the plant. I mist the leaves. I spray the whole plant. I drench the soil.
Breathe. Sigh. Gasp. Pant.
I breathe the fresh air. I sigh at the beautiful scenery. What a nice day. I gasp when I think I see a bear. It was just a stump. I gasp. I pant as I push the heavy wheelbarrow up the hill.
Learn. Take in. Absorb. Master.
You learn the differences between similar words. You take in the different meanings. You absorb the knowledge like a sponge, and you master all of these wonderful expressions. When you're asking for information, you can say, what's that? What's this? But this is really basic, and there are a lot of more common expressions that we use. Do you happen to know what time the meeting is? Beautiful.
Do you happen to know?
This is a little bit indirect, but it is beautiful. Do you have any idea if Katie is coming to dinner tomorrow?
Do you have any idea?
This is simply asking, do you know? if Katie is coming, but we can use this word idea. Do you have any idea if Katie's coming to dinner tomorrow? I'd like to know if Katie is coming to dinner.
I'd like to know if.
This doesn't seem like a question, right? There's not a question mark, but you're asking for more information without it being a direct question. I'd like to know if Katie's coming tomorrow for dinner. Maybe I'll have to send her a message. I'd like to know if. You might hear someone say, I'm wondering if those reports about the marketing plan are finished.
I'm wondering if those reports are finished.
If your boss says this, it means that he or she is trying to be indirect and asking, are they finished yet? But instead of directly asking that, they kind of indirectly say, I'm wondering if they are finished. It doesn't seem like a question, but it is, and they're asking for more information to know, are the reports done? So if your boss says to you, hey, I'm wondering if those reports will be done by 3 o'clock, you can say, yes, they will be done by 3 o'clock. Or maybe, nope, they won't. All right, let's go to our next category. The second category is checking for understanding, checking to see if someone else understands you or if you understand them correctly. So when someone asks you these questions, you want to make sure that you respond accurately. Whether you are giving directions or telling a complex story, you want to make sure that other people can understand because you don't want to get to the end of the conversation and the other person or you says, huh? It's quite disheartening. So I want to make sure that you can use these expressions to check along the way to make sure that you are being understood.
Do you know what I mean?
Especially if you're talking about something that is annoying you or close to your heart. Let's imagine that your child is having problems going to bed at night and it's really frustrating for you. So you're talking with your husband about it. Maybe this is similar to my life. And you say, oh yeah, it's so tough. Why won't he just sleep? I'm so annoyed. You know what I mean? And here I am asking to see if he understands how I feel. Did you notice that I cut off the first question word, do? The full question is, do you know what I mean? But we often just say, you know what I mean? And you want the other person, ideally, to say, yes, I understand what you mean. I understand how you're feeling. They might say, no, I really don't. And then you realize, okay, I need to explain in a different way, or we're just on different pages. But this is a great question to ask. You know what I mean?
Or you can ask, are you following?
Maybe if you're telling some complex sets of directions about how to fill in this paperwork to get a visa, and you're telling your friend, oh, first you got to do this, and then you got to go over here, and it's quite complex, and their eyes start to look like this. We say their eyes glaze over. You might say, are you following? Means, are you following these directions? And they might say, sorry, I lost you a long time ago. Or maybe their eyes are not glazing over. Instead, they're saying, yes, okay, all right. But you know that your directions are pretty complicated, so maybe they should write things down, but they're not. You might ask them,
got it.
That means, do you understand? Are you following my directions? Are you getting it? This is another meaning of the word get, which means to understand. I get you. This means I understand you. I understand how you are feeling. And in answer to this, if someone says, got it, you might say, got it. So you could just respond with the same phrase. If someone's telling you something complicated and at the end they say, did you understand? Or they say, got it? You can say, yep, got it. Let's go back to my previous example about my son having difficulties falling asleep. Well, when I'm talking to my husband about it, I might say, well, we need to make some changes in his nighttime routine to help him sleep better, or maybe changes in our daily routine to help him wind down and feel more tired at the end of the day. I could ask him, are we on the same page? We're not reading something, but this just means, do we have the same ideas? Do you agree with me that we need to change something so that he can sleep? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Are we on the same page?
This is very important for relationships. You absolutely need to be on the same page as your partner for a lot of stuff, but you can even use this at work if you're talking about a project that you're working on. You want to make sure that everyone in the team is on the same page, understands the same thing. So you might say, All right, everyone, are we on the same page? Everyone understands what we're doing now? Are we on the same page? All right, let's do it. Our next category are polite interruptions. This could be in real daily life conversations where you need to interrupt someone, or it could be on a Zoom call when someone's internet cuts out and you need to tell them something, but you want to tell them it politely, or maybe they say something and they got some information wrong about your marketing meeting, so you need to interrupt them before they continue. You want to do that politely. What can you say? Here's some ideas. You might say,
Excuse me, may I have a word?
excuse me, great way to introduce this. May I have a word? This is not just one word. This means, can I say something? Can I interrupt you and say something? So you might say, excuse me, may I have a word? You can use this when you knock on your boss's door and you want to tell him something. Knock, knock, knock. Excuse me, may I have a word? Great, that means you got to tell him something, usually something brief and short.
Do you mind if I jump in here?
Jump in means interrupting. You're not literally jumping, but we can imagine that idea that someone else is talking and you are jumping or cutting or interrupting in the middle of what they're saying. But this is very polite. Do you mind if I jump in there? Do you mind if I jump in here? I want to say something that is important right now. Do you mind if I jump in here?
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Is it possible to repeat that last point?
This is especially if it's something organized where someone is giving a presentation or they're trying to tell you some steps and you missed the last thing they said. You could use this whole phrase. Sorry, I didn't catch that. It means I didn't understand that. Can you repeat that last point? Or you can shorten this even further and just say,
I'm sorry.
Notice my head here, it's tilting. I'm sorry? That means I didn't get it, but this is really polite because you're apologizing for not understanding, and you can just say this, I'm sorry, and they'll be able to repeat what they said. And finally, our more direct question you can say is,
Do you mind if I interrupt you?
you're still using this polite expression, do you mind if, but you're using a clear word, interrupt. If someone is speaking, do you mind if I interrupt you? I want to share something that's relevant to this exact point before we move on to something else. Do you mind if I interrupt you? Great. Our final category of common daily phrases for daily conversation are different ways to agree or disagree with someone. Let's start with agreeing. For one-word responses, strong agreement, you can say,
Totally. Absolutely. Right.
great, you strongly agree. English is the most fun language to learn. You might say, totally, absolutely, right. For partly agreeing with someone, you can use these slightly longer phrases.
I see your point, but...
This means, yeah, okay, I understand where you're coming from. I understand your point of view, but I disagree. So if someone says, skiing is the best sport in the world, you might say, well, I see your point, but, I really would rather play basketball. It's warm outside, you can be on a team. Okay, you're agreeing with them, that's polite, but you're also showing your point of view. Or if someone again says, skiing is the best sport in the world, you might say, I'm not so sure about that. Here you're just kind of partly agreeing, not 100%. Say, well, I'm not so sure. You see this kind of indirect language? I'm not so sure. You could say, I'm sure about it, 100%, I'm sure. But here they say, I'm not so sure about that. I would really rather play basketball. I'm not so sure about it. Very polite way of partially agreeing. Our final three phrases are for disagreeing. Let's imagine that you really do like basketball more than skiing. You could say,
That's not always true.
skiing is dangerous. Skiing is really cold. Yeah, that's not always true. Or you might say,
I don't agree. I don't think so.
this is pretty clear, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta get your point across. I don't agree. Basketball's better. I don't think so. Basketball is better. This is my opinion. I disagree, and that's just the way it is.